NgRx component store. That's the topic of today. I'm going to look at the documentation. And if it's simple enough, I will just dive in and try to write stack blitz. Try to convert my colors app into stack blitz. So here we go. It's going to be bright. It's bright for me. It's probably not bright for you, but anyway. Here we go. All right, I'm going to zoom in. I don't think I was already zoomed in enough. Okay, so key concepts, it's local store. I'm just going to look at the code. Local state. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and add this now. I might as well. I'm going to zoom back in here. Is this good enough? What was that before? I don't even know. This looks kind of familiar. This should be all right. All right, so I'm going to comment out everything like I do at the beginning of a lot of these. This time I forked from the state adapt branch because it's less boilerplate for me to try to convert. And NgRx component store, I think it's similar in size. Pretty sure. So I will have an easier time, hopefully, converting from state adapt. All right, so this is, oops. Okay. Yes, that's where I want to be. Okay, now we're ready to uninstall state adapt. And install, not that. That doesn't really make sense. Where is it? Is it probably still the app module file? Oh, shared state component. Hey, I'm not using that, whatever. Okay, all right, well that's gone then. Okay, good. Then we are ready now to install component store. Here we go. This is exciting. I have used this before. Maybe, no, I haven't. I did create a demo app that compares with it a long time ago, like a year ago, but I didn't actually code anything in NgRx component store. So let's see. So we got the installation, and do we, well, what do we, oh, it's a local thing, right? We don't use NgRx store or anything. So movies, right? I have looked at this before a lot. Read, write, and effects. Life cycle. Yeah, this is something they recently added. Got these imperative code containers. Yeah, you know, some applications you know they're not going to get complex. So, yeah. This is not good for large applications. So, as long as you know it's not going to get complex. Well, let's look through the docs first. All right, so we've got movies state. Okay, so we're going to create a store and it's extending component store with the state model, super with initial state. Oh, this isn't what? Like it's not lazy importing. It's just initializing here. And calling setState. Okay, so you can call setState. All right. I think we're just ready to use it then. So let's, can you use it in a component like standalone? Cool. Oh no, you could do this always, I think. So, yeah. Yeah, so it's just a service. So it's got to be done in service. There are pros and cons to forcing people to do it in a service, but like in state adapt, I think it's cool you could have something this small in a service. I don't show it here. I show it in my documentation. This is zoomed out, but what's going on there? That's weird. Oh, localhost, that's why. Oops. Yeah, if you look here, this is all you need. Should you create a service just for that? I don't think that's necessary. So I think it's a plus to not force people to have a service. And it's easy to migrate away from it, so that's fine. So, so I would just create a service here, and I'm thinking, like, I like what I did with NgXS, starting with the really hard example first, because after that, I just copy and pasted code up the chain, and it was really simple, just deleting code, relatively, compared to going the other way. Because you have the same annoyances of renaming everything, but then you're adding extra stuff as you're going. And it's just easier to start hard and like get easier incrementally. Because there's some forms of code that, for example, in the component, this here, I changed this. Or it used to be called like a function because it came from a meta selector, a multi-store selector. But since it's not coming from there anymore, you don't call it like a function. And I created this decorator. I could have still kept the syntax here the same. So like whether this is good, that's still questionable in my mind. It's the adapter where I define that. Reusable selector. I could have just kept this syntax and encouraged people start with this syntax so that later on you can always it'll be easy to put it in like a shareable state like this, like a reusable state, like an adapter, essentially. And but it's not that much to change, so it's not that important to me. But still, I like the idea of handle the complexity first, and then as you take things away, you see what you're left with at the end and how similar the syntax is. So even if there's an alternate syntax that's simpler to start with, by default, you're going to have the syntax that's easier to scale up to more complexity. So anyway, I just like it. So, all right, what am I going to do here? Right now, this isn't being used anywhere. This is just a component. Everything's in this file. So I'm glad I did start like this. So how am I going to do this? That's the question. I'm just going to look at the documentation and see if I can identify opportunities to support different patterns, or if it's all going to be really basic like setters and observables. So far, this is a basic selector. That makes sense. Can you reuse this? You could create a base class that extends this and has these things. I believe you can. And then you extend it with injectables. You have and then namespace it. So this would be favorite colors store. Injectable extends, and I don't think there would be anything here. And interfaces, TypeScript hates you when you extend an interface and don't add extra properties. But I don't think that's a problem with classes. Did they name it store? I think they named it store. Yep. So that is what I will do. I'm going to start off by copying this. And, oh, they didn't. Okay. Hey, that worked. Index. Maybe I'll try that. All right, let's try that with ArcGIS. Index. Hey, that did it right. Okay, movie state. This is specific. So instead of that, what do we have? It's going to be a string array. So, okay. And we're not going to initialize state. Yeah, this is the base class, so we're not initializing state here. I do not care about read-only. Yeah, go ahead and set this. Who's going to reassign an observable property? I have not met a developer who is bad enough to try to do that, ever. I've never met anyone like that. So I'm going to call this colors, and this will be this. Yeah, okay. And I hope that's not necessary. Good. Okay, and this will just be colors store. So far, I'm kind of happy about this. This is just fine. This isn't going to be the injectable. Okay, this microphone positioning is really bugging me. Or my keyboard, either one. Okay. Ah, that's so much better. Okay. Export class favorite colors store. Extends colors store. Yes. Good. Constructor. Super. Yes. Okay. So this is how you're going to do this, apparently. Okay. I love it when things are easy. Neutral. Orange. Is this? No, disliked was second. So let's. Okay, gotta switch these. This is going to end up being more lines of code, I think, just a little bit. But when I compared them before, they were just about equal. I have changed the syntax a bit, though, so we'll see. Anyway, I'm actually okay putting these side by side. Look at all this boilerplate. Like, seriously, this is the only unique thing about this, but it's like, is it really boilerplate? Do you need that flexibility? Maybe. Because look what I do here. I mean, this is, or right here. These are different. These are different. Yeah. How are we going to do actions? Is it possible to react, to have the state react instead of, have the state change logic here instead of in the, I'm sure it is. It's gotta be. It's gotta be. It won't be great, but it should be okay. Anyway, there was another selector that I should do. I'm going to save this, though, to get the formatting. Okay, what was that other selector? I'm going to just... should I put state adapt? Yeah, I'm going to put state adapt next to it. So all are black. That will be the next one. No, what was it? How did they do? Oh yeah, this dot select. I do like this. It's so nice having that like that. Okay, and that's pretty simple. Okay, what is next? Just got the state changes, and initial state's actually loading. Later, we're going to have that. So I'm going to get rid of, yeah, that's not hard to type again. So, there. So since this is here, I'll just do constructor super. Okay. Same loading state, same initial state for all of them. Hopefully this is how it's going to go. Hopefully it'll work. I don't know what to do about events, multi-store events. Should I just go about trying to use it in the component already? I'm going to look at rights. Movie store. Yep, so this is how they do it. Do they have a setter? I hope they do. Yeah, this should not be too bad. This is going to be, I mean, is this a method? Oh, good. It's a property, so there's not going to be that stupid ESLint rule yelling at everybody. Okay, so next to state. Well, the state is all, this is the adapter, so this actually works. This is fine. Let's see. They do act like it's a method, so I will put it after the constructor just because. We're going to call this change color. This dot updater. Dang it. Do we have to have it an object? Most of the time people are going to have objects, but movies, stuff. Some state is relatively simple. Set state? No. It's just going to be a method, I think. Yeah, it's going to be a method. Right. Good inference. I knew that would happen. Yeah, NgRx type inference is good. Very good. Okay, so this is going to be this right here. New color and index. I'll just make it the exact same as this. Why not? Okay. This really actually isn't bad. Okay, so yeah, we'll just take this in, set the state. So far, so good. You know what? And in some ways, this looks cleaner than stated app because this is all dense and packed in, and it's fine. But yeah, I could see why people would. Did I say all? I guess that's all right. I can see why people would prefer. Good. It takes in both. I can see why people would prefer this. But at the same time, you're dealing with objects with state adapters, and there are a lot of things that you can do with objects that I don't think you can do with classes. So, yeah, for state adapt is definitely the right choice. Also, you can inline an object. You can't inline a class. Well, that looks like it. Yeah, unfortunately, there's a moth. Hang on. It disappeared. Unfortunately, I don't think I can. This is a weird question. Is there a way to define a method? Would I want to do that? No. Is there a way to piggyback in a child class like this? I don't know if this would be good. Basically, if you could define something like an action here, and then in the child class, tie together the action with the parent thing, so that it sets all at the same time. I don't know, but this, the whole idea behind this is it shows the simplest version of a pattern. So this is like silly to like architect things this way. I mean, you could if you wanted to. With state adapt, it's like trivial either way. Like you want to architect it with separate stores like this, it's fine. But in some cases, you do want an action to be able to trigger state changes in multiple things at the same time. And I don't think this has the ability to select from multiple stores. I don't think. I'm going to think about it, but it probably doesn't. But that's the next thing I want to try, right? That's what I'm supposed to look at next. Of all the things that are going on, this is pretty basic. Well, selecting from multiple stores. Setting state from an observable, that is a good idea, but also reacting to an event. So 3 things that I need to think about. So basically, I solved what's here in the state adapter thing. I need to solve these other things. Selecting from multiple stores, having a DOM event, change multiple stores, and have an observable of an event. Define a way to react to that, like plug it in. I don't think you can do this reactively with NgRx component store. I looked at the API as soon as it came out, and I was like, darn. But it would be pretty cool if you could. Trying to figure out how I could maybe make it happen here, like I did with NgXS. I mean, I'm still really happy about this. This was awesome. Like this pattern here. This was awesome. Glad I was able to do that. But what can be done here? It's like really, I'm going to pause and think about this, but maybe first I'll look at this. I like this completion thing here. So this dot, what else do we have? We have state, updater, patch state, get, and effect. So effect is going to be the only other interesting thing to look at, really. That's what I thought. So how do you do this? Read only. So it's an event. So it's like an action. And it just pushes. So you call it and it pushes. So that is like, so it combines like a subject with a chain. Does it subscribe? It's got to subscribe. Yeah, this subscribes. Right? How does it do this? How does it do this? Let's see. You call the get movie. What if you call this? Well, you do call this before you set this or before you subscribe. So NgRx component store subscribes automatically if you use this function. Okay, so now that I kind of understand that, I'm going to be thinking about this. So I'm going to pause and think about that for a minute. How can I use that? Well, I just had an idea. So first of all, this is the adapter. So this is, we don't want any sources to be listened to from here. This is just for logic, okay? And I might need to move this into the constructors down there. I don't know. So this is just for the logic. And this, I may end up taking, no, it's using methods on it. So, but anyway, down here, this is where we add logic, where we listen to things and set things. So I could define the sources here. So I could say subject void, okay? And then here I can create a thing called init effect. Okay, and it's gonna be, that's the observable. Let's see, I saw that in ELF today when I was looking at their documentation, and I don't mind that. It's just a random, well, not really random, but where is it? Here, movie ID, that's the argument. It's just gonna be, well, it's gonna be called with nothing, so I bet you have to type it though, right there. So if you do, what is it? Observable of void. Good. That's a good default type for that. Yeah, NgRx, they do things right. Basically. Like as far as code quality, yeah. I wish it was more reactive, but it's so far NgRx store seems to be the most reactive thing aside from state adapt. So anyway, so we just are returning taps. See? So what we could do here, and switch map. So we could switch to listing to our source. Oops. So our source here, I wish by default they include $sign in with the word, but anyway. So pipe. No, what we're doing here is we're just doing combine latest. Oh, come on. Why did they deprecate that? I remember when it used to be an operator and they got rid of that. And then I actually prefer it this way, but whatever. But as a pattern, whatever, just take one of the sources and tap. Yes. All right. And do, I wonder if this is going to work, but will that work? Okay, but as a pattern, what you can do is, anyway, but this gets copied and pasted to all of them. So I'm gonna, whoa, that was weird. But anyway, as a pattern, you could do combine latest and just do the same thing to all of these. This pipe tap and have the reaction, because this is void. This takes void. If it took, this would be, yeah. So this actually works, I think. Okay, what about change color? And state adapt. Oh yeah, we got receive. So how about set, or yeah. What do we call it? Well, it's going to be different. Observable for each. Shoot. How do we define this? Well, we can define it in here. Yes, we could. So this here. Operators index. No to source. And I wonder if it would be happy with this. It probably would be. So that's a huge win. Anyway, so this is becoming smart. But that's, I think it's kind of okay. And it's a one-time thing. Of course it's going to figure out how to handle this. Like if a component, well, you instantiate each class once. It's a singleton. So is it bad that this would be called? No, it's not bad. This would be called multiple times. I feel like I need to have experience with this pattern because I'm not 100% sure how this is going to behave in different situations. What's one that merge? Is that still going to be? I hope. Yes. Okay. So get rid of that. Now we're going to merge, and it takes an array, right? I've been burned by this sometimes. So believe that'll work. What's the issue with this? Am I missing parentheses? No. One argument got 2. Oh. Merge. Right? Oh, no. This is happening here. Okay. What's going on? Oh, effect. Okay. All right. So. Maybe it still can take that. Yeah, I think this should work. I'm not 100% sure, so I should just double check real quick. RxJS. Merge. That's the operator. Okay. Go away. Yeah, it just takes arguments, so we should be good there. Okay. So this is like, you can kind of see the similarity here. I'm creating a structure that is somewhat reactive, kind of like this. We got set state maps to this and that there. So, oops. Yeah. Okay, set all to black. Set all to black. So I'm going to reverse these, but okay. So this is specific, this is general. This is the general state pattern. This is a specific store dedicated to a component. And this. Okay. All right, so since they're in different places, I'm going to name them like this. Because who cares? Whoa. Oh no, it's doubled. Yeah, okay. Okay. All right, then copy and paste is what we do. Okay. And neutral colors. So this converted the general state pattern into specific sources. These are individual sources. So we're good. Aqua, that's not it anymore. We got orange and purple. Okay, so this actually works. And I'm wondering what to do about a selector now. I mean, this should work. I don't know yet, but it should work. I don't think there's a way to get around the selector issue. I'm going to Google and see what other people have said about it, but I'm pretty sure you have to use combine latest, and then you're going to have 3 values when you set all to black, and it'll be out of sync for half of them. 2 of them. Okay, let me see what people say. I'll just keep it recording while I'm Googling. So NgRx component store. Select from multiple stores. Allow multiple selector functions to store.select. No. Allow combining more than 4 selectors. I think people know they're supposed to use this on small apps, and maybe they don't come across this much. if I put in quotations, select from multiple stores. Ooh, how to interjoin data from multiple stores on Angular. This is a long time ago. Yeah, this is NgRx store. So when this emits, it's going to set them all to black. And then it's going to set the next one all to black. But when it calls this function, the selector for this state is immediately going to emit, and then the combine latest will update with that new value. Maybe there is a way to... Where would you define this anyway? This has to be defined in the component, because these aren't instantiated until then. So we've got this, though. It's the first thing it emits, though. And plus, we don't want our selector to know what's causing things to happen. That's not... I mean, it's not... at least they would be looking upstream, but that's too far upstream for it to be concerned with. I'm going to think. This cannot be used to coordinate anything. This has nothing to do with the multi-store thing, because we could have stores of all kinds. Like the adapter is just for logic, and we could have stores of different kinds of logic reacting to the same event. So I can't involve this at all. It's got to be something here and in the component. All right, I thought about it, and I decided that I was thinking up stuff that would create too much work, so that this would be more like an extension to component store more than a pattern that people could use in a regular project. There might be ways of doing it, but one other thing I thought of is... Actually, I don't know if that helps. I think I might have to do this anyway. Oops. Accidentally pressed A. I might have to do this anyway, but I'm pretty sure let's call it loading state, I don't care. I'm pretty sure I have to do this anyway, but let's see. copy. There we go. Oops. Now I set that there and good. Pretty sure I have to do that anyway, but yeah. This lets me set it up here instead of having to do it in the component, which is nice. And theoretically, it should be the same lines of code, assuming you actually have to do this. So, okay. Hope this works. But yeah, I decided, just use a combined latest. If the NgRx team didn't come up with something for it, it's not worth it for me to come up with it, because it was starting to get really weird. It was starting to look like state adapt, like the internal implementation. Like if you look here, this is a really small font, but anyway, the point is like this thing where I'm keeping track of which sources have emitted. It was starting to look like that, and then this syntax was going to start to look like it was just going to become state adapt, but a not as good version because it doesn't use Redux DevTools. So, yeah, I mean, that's a little bit of an exaggeration. It wouldn't have become literally the same as state adapt, but pretty close. All right, this sort of, let's see how this, oh, okay, so it's got to be like that. All right, well. Let's see how this is starting to compare. So this will be like a combined latest. It's going to probably be one line less of code, and then you're going to have lines saved here. So there are many opportunities for this to be slimmer than state adapt. But we'll actually see, because it was like a tie when I did it last. So anyway, constructor. Where's constructor? I don't use constructor here. So I'm going to go ahead and remove this. Just all of it. Or what's a reminder? Comment. I'll just comment it out. And then I can refer to it. Well, I can refer to this. So yeah, I'm going to get rid of this. All right. Okay. So we got constructor, and we're going to inject our cool stores. So oh yeah. I'm going to call this favorite store. What did I call it here? Yeah, favorite store. Good. So far, this is going great. It doesn't do the same thing VS Code does. That's like the best thing ever. Disliked. Then neutral. Neutral store. Import. Okay, now we're going to, well, these are public, so, oh man, it might be this easy. Okay, so, I mean, colors, that's the same. Event and index. This looks the same. All are black. That is not the same, is it? Right, that's the joined store. So that's the thing that's different. And what's up with that? That's what's up. Okay. So all are black equals combined latest. Why did they change it? It makes it so, Like these observables are all on equal footing. Why do I have to choose one that's the special first one? Black, pipe, combine, latest width, or wait, what's this? That's an operator, right? What? Oh, source is object. Weird. Oh, did they just change how that's done? I'm gonna Google that. RxJS combine latest deprecated after 2021. What? What? This is old and it's presented as new. I hate these stupid off-brand Stack Overflow copies. Let's just try. Stop. Equals combine latest. Wait, is this literally returning to what it used to be? I don't remember. It's so hard to remember these little things. Let's just see. Let's see if it works. It doesn't. It's not marked as deprecated, so I'm hoping this works. Okay. All right. Okay. That looked really similar to something that was deprecated, apparently. Copy, paste. Okay. And then there's no selector function. I don't think. Let me make sure. That was deprecated. I thought it would be removed by now. Map. Whatever. Okay. Well, I'm just going to copy what's here. Yeah, it's going to look kind of like this, but without the S's. Okay, now. Yeah, all right. Could have got rid of all of them there, but okay. All right, let's format that. Ugh, that doesn't look good. But it is what it is. It is correct. Now I will go over to this here. Save so it gets formatted. I mean, I think it's ready. Let's see what happens. I didn't think it'd be... No, there's no way it's this much. State changes. That one should be comparable. Okay, anyway, so yeah, 107 lines, and then we got 80 and... So 153. Something's not right. No, it's got to be right. How else are you going to do this? So, but what about blackout? We gotta assign that. Oh man, it's even adding more. Oh, export. Okay. Now, so 150, what was it? 156. That's what it is now. Okay. But you know what's crazy? Template is the exact same. The template is the exact same. That is so nice. And that's because of the synthetic sources stuff that I did recently with State Adapt that allows you to just call it on the store like that. Which, whatever. Okay. Now let's test this. Don't need to change that. Just need to let this be what it is. Oh no. Oh yeah, I do need to change that. I need to import it now. I don't even need to, what? No. Oh no. Please no. 1849. Let's see what this ends up being. I wish the line numbers were accurate. That would be nice. But yeah. String. Is this actually happening here? Index. Of course that's not. Yeah, this is... Oh, it's in the component. Duh. Component. What? Hey, type checking. That is fantastic. But... Event? Let's just see. Jeez, why would the default be not including $? That is valid syntax. Very much valid syntax. What's the event here? Where am I looking for that? Okay, my bad. I did have to change the template. Oh, and now I need to enable this again. Where did it go? Oh, down here. There we go. Okay, but I'm like gonna be confused. What the? It's all broken. It's still loading. Infinite loop somehow? Oh no. What did I do? working now. Ah! No provider for our favorite color store. Oh, provided en route. I actually have to add that, of course. Where are we? Store. Here we go. Of course. And of course. Okay. It's weird that they don't have that in the documentation. I thought that was like the preferred way officially. Ooh, this looks... Oh no. It waited for that. So is this thing, this? Oh, this. I mean, my knowledge of how this works is like not amazing, and I've never cared to learn. This is like something I used to look up right before job interviews and then forget right after because I hate it. So that is how to do that. Okay. Just more repetition, I guess. I mean, I don't want to. I mean, it's not as bad as defining a freaking arrow function. Okay, yep, there's that. Fantastic. Okay. Now, what is the deal with this stupid error? Not assignable to string? What does... Oh, it's because the color picker component wasn't defined. Huh. Type checking happened before the Angular compiler error. I bet that's an issue. Hey, it's working. Hey. Oh, yes. And it's... Boom, look at that. That was so much easier than NgXS. However, this garbage... Watch this. Watch this garbage. False. False. I guess it's memo selector. Maybe. Distinct until changed. That's what that is. Look at that. Look at this garbage. True, false. True, false. True. This is why you have selectors that can select from multiple stores. This is why you want that. How do you fight against this? An event just happened. I'm going to say, it's triggers change detection. It's not really performant, but if you did like debounce time, that would fix this. And if you want to be super efficient, I would say just... What's the deal here? Oh, I didn't import it. Okay. You know, I'm going to keep that. And add it. Okay. Oops. I'm going to add it here. So now you can see what I'm doing. The result. False. True, true, true. There you go. It is solved. So is there another way to do this? I'm going to say I wish. Right, each one individually emits a Boolean, so that's why it didn't emit again. And it would only emit if it changed, so over here, it's not going to emit at all. Well, it's now, I got rid of the console log, but anyway, so it's, it's not even going to hit this unless this needs to update. So I'm going to go ahead and say, let's try this for now, because I remember back in the day when I was a beginner at NgRx, I did this. And I think actually the official create selector function, I don't know if that was really popular yet. Because everyone was like, oh, combine latest. Like RxJS takes care of everything we need. And then selectors became a big deal, and I remember refactoring back because I started with Redux and then I converted to observables. No, I left it that way, I think. I think it was still observables when I left that project, but I don't remember. So long ago. A lot of people were kind of figuring things out, but anyway, so this is really not bad. This isn't bad at all. This is the worst part is the lack of selectors and dev tools. And like that's exactly what I said in my blog post. Like when I'd never touched this actually, but just looking at it, at the documentation and the API, like let me bring up my post. This one that people got mad at. Oh, I didn't talk about that. I talked about subjects in a service, which, I mean, NgRx component store is a little better, but this is like no selectors, no Redux DevTools. It's the same thing. It's very similar. But anyway, so that's that. I hope it doesn't take me to this page. It did, but okay. Just looking at a bunch of different weekly downloads for frameworks and state management libraries to see which ones I should do, because I did NgRx store first, which, by the way, I changed a couple of things here afterwards. I also changed some things with NgXS. I'll show you what I changed. No payload for this. I had the class itself. Yes, right here. I had it just pass in the arguments in a row. So that got rid of some lines of code. Not much, but anyway. So, yeah. This is in the order of weekly downloads. I was looking at GitHub stars, but there's no real good measure of what people care about right now. Because GitHub stars, like how often do you go back and remove a star? Probably not often. But anyway, weekly downloads at least is probably representative of how many developers are currently maintaining something or using it. So NgRx store is top, NgXS is next. Stated app is next. Just kidding. Stated app is like, well, it's not even really officially released yet, so. But it's gonna have like almost no downloads when it first releases anyway. But NgRx component store is the next one. I was gonna do Elf. Akita is kind of weird. It's. I'll just show you. Where is that? Akita. At the top. Elf, a newer state manager solution, has been published. We recommend checking it out. So still use this. Oops, that was pointless. Thanks, NPM. Still use this, I guess, and people are still using it. It's not growing. But check out Elf, a reactive store with magical powers. And that has grown a lot. And it's got a lot of neat utilities, but the core of it is just about as capable as NgRx Component Store. It's going to end up being pretty imperative. It may end up being more imperative than NgRx, actually, NgRx Component Store. Because Component Store, it's got that thing for effects. Here. No. Here. It's got that thing for effects. That I'm able to listen to multiple actions with. So that's pretty cool. Wait a sec. Could I just call this here directly? Let me try this. Nope. Yeah, okay. Let's try that. This is going to be pretty weird. But I don't see why it shouldn't work. So this is favorite. So is this responding? Yes, it is. And it received them. Okay, so this is the pattern. This is going to be more... I think people will hate this. This is just a way to make it a little, save a couple lines of code maybe. Did that save anything? It went from... Let's get ready to replace that or return it, restore it. And it reduced one line of code. But it's worth it. That is worth it because this should be grouped at like this kind of level. And you know what? I'm going to go ahead and say, no, let's do this. Let's not make this crazy. Let's just do this. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Let's do it. All right. So let's do that for all of them. Okay. I like it because it looks like setup code. And it is, basically. It's in the constructor. That is where it's a terrific place to put this. I think. Still not 100% sure exactly what effect does, but I'm sure when I write about this, people will be like, no, you're supposed to do the other way. But I thought that the real stuff happens when you call effect, because what gets returned is just something you call to pump values onto this. It doesn't affect the subscriptions or anything. It's just to put new values in. So everything important happens just by calling this. So yeah, I like this. And I didn't define a constructor up here. So reusing this logic, it'd be cool if I could just pass an array of stuff like this to super right after this. How much code would that save? Probably not that much. I could extend this in something above color store, so I could call this reactive component store maybe, and have it define the constructor where it expects like a list of things to react to as effects. That could be a good idea. And then that would save a bit of code. It would look like this instead. And honestly, this is pretty cool. This would be pretty cool. These are your effects or your reactions. I'd be happy with this. Actually, yeah, I'm thinking about like defining like a map. If you did this, you might as well do this. I don't know about this, but this. I freaking hate using that word. So you maybe could do this. This looks pretty cool, actually. You know, then you might as well make it look more like state adapt. Put this first. And do that. And then this could be an array of its own if desired. But then, like, Prettier gets weird about that. No, it turned out to be okay. So this actually could work. Optional array there. Looks quite a bit like state adapt with that mapping. And with the load initial state. Yeah. And the fact that you're extending this, it's like the adapter, yeah, elements of it all over the place. Anyway, that is a utility that I don't feel like taking the time to create right now, and it wouldn't be worth it. And for this demo, I want to, it would increase the lines of code probably more than it would save. So I'm not going to do that, but that would be a cool thing to try. That'd be a really cool thing to try. Man, the NgRx team should do this. What if I like propose this as like a second optional argument to the constructor, because it'd be even nicer if it was just in here. They can take an array of effects, then you can code things more reactively. I think I might try to propose that. Maybe I should. Anyway, so overall, let's see what this was, the lines of code. 74. Yeah, that did go down. Cool. And then 77. Man, it's so similar still. What did I do? I don't know what I did. Anyway, so 77, 74, that is 151. So it did go down a little bit. All right, so we got 151 and 107. If I exported this to a different file, create adapter, like this would create an extra line of overhead, extra 2 lines because of the gap with the imports. It increased by 5 lines of code. Should I try it? Just see what it would look like. Let's try it. Store. Let's do adapter. Let's see. So we got create adapter. Just for anyone curious. Good. I'll just call it the full thing. Colors adapter. Now we import it. And it's happy again. So we got 94 here. 15 here. 104. Yeah, see, 109. 2 lines of code, added these 2 lines. That's all it did. And if we did the same thing and created a store, that would add like 4 extra lines of overhead of boilerplate. So I mean, it barely changes it. And like adding lines between these things, like line breaks, it doesn't matter. But anyway, so point is, I satisfied my curiosity, and this is going to be a deleted file now after I bring this back. All right, delete. Okay, well, I'm happy with stuff. It'd be really cool to have a way to do selectors with component store. And then what if you could also tie it into Redux DevTools? This would be like me trying to get NgRx component store to look a lot like StateAdapt. But I like the adapter pattern so much. These objects that you can like pass around and extend and all these things. Like you can extend classes, but yeah, you need to find the selectors as their own thing. And then you could return, you can do so much with objects over classes. But anyway, okay, well, that's it for this video. That wasn't nearly as long as the NGXS one, thank goodness. I have a feeling ELF would be similar length to this because it's like another kind of small. So it's very similar in the way it feels. So that's what I hope. It'd be somewhat like this. So, but that's not the next one. The next one will be this one, Akita. That one. I think. Yeah, people are still using it, so maybe I should do it. First thing first, though, I need to update all these other files. But luckily, not nearly as much boilerplate, so that's nice. Won't have to... Yeah, and I don't have to change the templates, like almost hardly at all. Yeah, this is going to be amazing. This is going to be so much easier than all the work I had to do for the others. Glad I forked from StateAdapt on this one. So anyway, all right. Thanks for watching, and bye.